Spare a coin for the hungry.
You're back. You... But I was so sure. Shit! Damn, I almost got myself killed over this. How could I be so stupid? Am I even cut out for this mission? I nearly ruined everything. You're right. Though I guess there are plenty of bastards like him in Camelot. But with us, the children there, they'll all pay sooner or later. I just can't let myself forget who my true family is anymore. Thank you. Tell Self that success is close. I'll make sure I make you proud. All of you.
Just stay put. Everything will be okay.
Have some spare food or coin? Anything else?
Todd Howard and the Holy Grail. Todd. I just started, man. I just did a crypt, which I thought was going to take it like an hour, but it only took like 3 minutes.
Oh, I know. A little bird told me he'd already taken the final step. I'm sure there were plenty of fake tears and trembling lips. Vin is quite good at that. It would have been a waste to see such talent squandered on his petty grudge. He needn't have worried. Denholm will pay one day. They all will. Maybe. When he's older and has learned the value of patience. I've nothing against a bit of old-fashioned revenge, but everything has its time and place. He needs to see the bigger picture first. That's when you understand there are outcomes far sweeter than death. But enough of this. I must say, my fledgling, you've surpassed my expectations. So much so that I believe it's time for the next step of your fledging. I want you to make your way to the Forlorn Swords. High in the mountains there, you'll find a very particular nest. All you need to do is fall asleep. Well, that's for you to find out, isn't it? I can't tell you more than that.
Oh, falling asleep for a faction. Where have we heard that before?
Both. Yes. Don't worry. We will see each other again. Now fly, my fledgling. Sweet dreams.
Oh, hello there.
Oh, hello there. Hello again. What do you need today? I envy you.
I don't think they've gotten the concept down of trespassing, though.
Nice to see you. I don't think... Hello again.
I am an outcast. Exiled from
Spare a coin for the hungry.
You were awaited. In the past, in the present, and in the future. All stages have converged into one. And here you stand. Welcome, Hollow Shell. It is time to begin the next act of your journey. I am the one, the vessel, the bearer of grace, the giver. I have worn many names, but names matter little, except for the prophets. Kai, 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 listener of the bleeding heart of the plague, the sanctified pilgrim. Simple minds with lofty titles, and simpler folk with no standing, opened these walls to something they did not understand. Then came the outbreak of terror. The plague claimed this place. Red Death. A holy relic, a fragment of the sanctified body of the prophet. Ignatius is but a corpse now, walking his own path toward grace. But his journey nears an end. He survived because he was the only one prepared to become a hollow shell. I chose him to carry the gift forward, to pass it on to someone he deemed worthy. It seems that someone was you. A humble soul is awaited by the bleeding heart of the plague. Someone who evaded its grasp. Someone who defied the destiny laid before them. Her name is Una, an old widow in Kuna. But she is not alone. There is another, one whose choice led you here. Yes, him. His role as the hollow shell must end. His purpose is fulfilled. He is no longer needed. In you, I have found a servant whose perfect obedience will enact the will of Prophet Kai and the Hard. She will die in her sleep, and she will find peace in death. For those who defy their destiny cannot depart with joy. The gift you carry is only the beginning. Much within you must be purged before you achieve perfect obedience, before you are ready for the final act. Now, receive the mark of the plague. Pass it on to those I have chosen. When their fates are sealed, return here for the next step to be revealed. I know. Return when it is done.
Do you hear it? The silence, from which the word shall emerge. A handful of Camelot soldiers, myself among them, were chosen for a special mission under the command of the Red Church. The priests sought an artifact said to be hidden within the toll house at the border. Yet, what we found was far more precious. Blessing and peace. None returned but me. It was then that I received the gift. I've heard the tales of the Red Priest's brutality, and I have witnessed it myself. Their methods are harsh, yes, but tell me, what better way is there to cleanse the flesh, to hollow the body, and make room for the word's glory? We are not perfect as we are. We must be bent into the proper shape. This mark. No. But I don't understand. I was told to wait. An empty shell. Just as it was said. Why are you doing this to me? Why, when I gave you such a wondrous gift? It's hard to hold faith in destiny when staring at the mark of the plague. But I must remain strong. I must remain the hollow shell, perfectly obedient. I am a corpse, anyway. Go now. Let me think.
Oh, hello there. Here, take this. I hope it helps. Unfortunately, that's all I can give you. We have to make sure there's enough for everyone in need.
Always a pleasure to see you.
The plague's mark. So, it has come for me at last. I always knew it would. I prayed for my family, but never for myself. Perhaps this is why. No, my prayers are said. My heart is prepared. Thank you for bringing me this warning. It's more than most receive. Go now. Death will come when it's ready. There's no need for you to linger and watch.
Help a soul out on your journey, will you?
You are back. Ignatius. Una. These souls have taken their first steps onto the path that leads to the embrace of the bleeding heart of the plague.
Soon they will begin their final act. Give it to me. Seal my fate as well. You shall begin your final march toward your destiny. You will witness what was ordained for you long ago, from the moment you first arrived at the island asylum. I can feel it. You were sick. You carried the plague. It was your destiny. Fate, however, steered your path in another direction. For a time. Yet here you are, the lost child, making its way home. Like Una, I shall find silence. I shall finally catch my breath. I cannot wait for that moment. And so, my final act unfolds. Let us close our eyes together.
I'm sorry, Wanderer, but you cannot rest here. Not yet. I sense my brother's soul within you. The pull of his destiny is stronger than any of our desires. I am, well, his half-sister. A very important distinction at court. To Arthur, though, I was always just sister. The one he liked, not only loved. I stood by his side, listened to him, and spoke my mind when he needed it. And when the visions came, I was the only one who understood they weren't just madness. My poor brother. I couldn't bear to see him suffer. There was little I wouldn't do if it meant I could help him. They came with the plague. The land was ravaged by sickness, and Arthur's mind was plagued by waking nightmares. He heard a voice, clear as any other, calling to him, relentlessly, day and night, begging him to return to Avalon. Oh, but how does one return to a place they have never seen before? He'd come to me in the dead of night, afraid he was going mad. But I knew better. I heard it too, though faintly. To me, they were merely echoes of a distant despair. In a way, I think I did, but even now I'm not sure. I followed the visions, though most of the court thought I'd lost my mind, or that I'd secretly caught the Red Death and it had taken over my senses. Sir Estor was one of the very few who believed me, and the only one brave enough to join me on my pilgrimage to a plague-ridden land. The visions showed me a place of beginnings, bathed in creeping scarlet. So, that's where we went. The bleeding heart of the plague. With every step, the voice grew louder. And when I finally saw it, it felt as though it was beating inside my own chest. Each heartbeat was like a knife twisting. A festering wound that could never heal. That's when I understood. The homelands are lost, and Avalon is truly our only salvation. There was something almost human about it, and yet it was so terribly alien. It was like staring at your own reflection in a distorted mirror. Everything seemed familiar, yet profoundly wrong. I've had centuries to reflect on it, and I think I've almost uncovered the truth. A truth that's both simple and devastating. The heart is a grief made manifest. The sorrow of a mother who lost her child. Undoubtedly, yes. These are three aspects that could not exist without one another. There was a heart, struck by immense grief. That grief gave birth to a force as untamable, as relentless as the plague. I believe that there's no cure for such matters, except time. And time is a luxury only we humans have. I don't know. I thought leading Arthur to Avalon would keep us safe. But then it followed us here, too. I'm not sure there's anything we can do to cure a bleeding heart. For a being that exists outside of time, with only a rudimentary grasp of mortality, there's no such thing as an end. I doubt she wants everyone else to suffer with her. She just doesn't know how to stop. I saw that staying meant death for all of us. Nothing in the homelands could stop the plague. And the voice, it kept calling night and day, promising safety on Avalon's shores. Arthur once told me it sometimes felt familiar to him, though he could never say why. Even then, he wasn't sure if he could trust it. But after I returned with Estor, he didn't hesitate anymore. We sailed for Avalon, and the voice led us straight to its shores. You could say that. One way or another, every prophet becomes a captive to their followers. Some chains are just more visible than others. The Red Priests like to call me theirs. So, theirs I must remain. After we left the homelands, people started listening to me. Not just to my brother. It was terrifying, stepping out of his shadow. But I did my best to guide them. You see, no one becomes a prophet on their own. They're made by the people who need someone to follow. I became what they needed. Sometimes a guiding hand, other times a whip over their heads. Keep going. Take it from someone who has lived far too long. Some decisions are out of your hands. You just have to make the best of what's left. You'll do fine. You're in excellent company, after all. And, Arthur, I'm sorry I can't stand by your side this time. But know you're always in my heart, brother. This is for both of you. May we all find peace at the end of this path. Please, take care of my brother. Now go. There's nothing more for you here.
All right, so now you'll see Arthur. We're gonna have a conversation with him. Let's read this real quick. You were meant to die. The Red Death already claimed you once, and your fate was sealed in fever and ruin. Yet by chance, or perhaps by something far worse, you were spared. Then he returned to the place where Agni once held you in its grip, and as before, you left it changed. The lament breaks most, leaves them shattered, but you've learned to wield it for your own purpose. You have unlocked the Red Death skill tree. Interesting. Okay. So. Oh, can I sit on my throne now? No? Alright. Let's, well, we know it's nighttime, so let's set a bonfire. And let's talk with Arthur. Here he is.
My sister. I didn't think I'd ever see her again. She was gone. I've always felt like I failed her. I was her older brother, and it was my responsibility to protect her. And yet, she ended up taking care of me. And she paid dearly for it. I'm still not sure. Kai always stepped into whatever role was needed and made it fit her perfectly. Blind devotion was never something she sought, but if she thought it served a purpose, I know she wouldn't hesitate. I want to see her only as my beloved sister, but that was never all she was. A half-sibling is only halfway to being a bastard, even if acknowledged. Like Morgaine, Kai wasn't well respected at court. But unlike Morgaine, she never met disdain with more disdain. Just pity. The narrow-mindedness of of others usually only saddened her. Morgaine was proud, and she wore that pride like spiky armor. She was also stubborn, never able to admit she was wrong. Kai was different. Softer, but not weak. Quietly unyielding, full of unwavering conviction. Sometimes I envied her for that. But most of the time I was simply grateful. I do. I always have. She always stayed calm, no matter what was thrown at her. I don't think I ever saw her hesitate. When she made a decision, she was certain. I miss her presence and her counsel. Maybe things would have turned out differently if she'd been by my side.
okay. Hello again.
Careful with that! Keep your eyes. Show yourself. I will bleed. I've taken down big foes. You're in the world apart. You made a big mistake. Who's that supposed to work?
I'm terribly sorry for all that hassle. I should have taken more precautions. Yes, thank you. Just a bit shaken. The beasts must have somehow escaped during the night. When I woke up, they were already prowling the territory. I bolted the door and sat inside, hoping they'd leave. But, well, it's a good thing you showed up. Otherwise, I'd have had to choose between starvation and being mauled. Their pen, of course. The beasts were... my test subjects. I was sure they were significantly weakened and wouldn't pose much of a danger. I must have miscalculated. It's a bit of a shame they're all dead. I'll have to start everything from scratch. After the autopsies, of course. I lured them. They may be built differently and are quite tough, but most of them still need to eat, and they are susceptible to certain poisons. That's an interesting question. Perhaps they've been in captivity long enough to forget the concept of freedom. Or maybe they've claimed this place as their territory, and the only thing that changed was their living conditions. Or perhaps they were just dumb beasts waiting for the closest source of food to leave the house. I suppose we'll never know. The weirdness and life itself. I don't know if you've ever dissected a weird beast, but their bodies are quite fascinating. Nothing is in its rightful place, and, for all intents and purposes, they shouldn't even be alive. And yet, there they are, prowling and growling. It's a bit of a miracle, don't you think? Well, I suppose, given the nature of your encounters with them, your skepticism is not unfounded. But if you ever have the chance to look deeper, I do encourage experimentation. Nonsense. Where else would I conduct my experiments? I'd rather endanger just myself instead of, say, the entire population of Kunakt. Oh, did he? Well, if the guild is so impatient for results, they should have sent someone sooner. Now all my beasts are gone, and I'm still missing a crucial ingredient. Yes, I suppose you are. I'm sorry for my outbursts. It's been a stressful couple of days. You see, weird beasts are unique creatures. The spark of life they carry is as twisted as it is relentless. I believe it can be extracted and transferred, creating a being capable of living in the weirdness without succumbing to its corruption. With everything that's been happening on Avalon, I believe this is the only way we can survive. The pigs can already do that. Well, yes, but they hardly escape disfigurement and corruption, do they? Besides, they only skirt the edges of the weirdness. They don't dwell deep within the fog. If I succeed, humans will be able to live in the weirdness freely, no matter how dense it becomes. The heart of a Fae, well, the Fae, to be precise. I'm not interested in the heart of some half-feral beast from the host. I need something far more powerful. I've heard of a Fae that calls itself Foxglove. It dwells in the roots of an ancient tree, lurking for unsuspecting travelers. Supposedly, it's cunning and quite vicious. If you bring me its heart, you won't just be doing me a favor. You'll be aiding all of Avalon. Me? Of course not. I'm just a scientist. I doubt I'd have survived such an encounter. I've only heard rumors. They might be exaggerated, of course, but I wasn't going to risk my life just to satisfy my curiosity. They are powerful beings that seem to only half belong to Avalon. They have their own realm, and don't appear to care much about the weirdness. They are a missing piece of the puzzle, I think. I may be wrong, but every theory must be tested, shouldn't it? Splendid! I assure you, if everything goes as planned, the Guild will hail us both as heroes.
Now it's done. You survived that.
lovely mortal he sent my way. Such a silly man, that Phaedros. Does he truly think I can't tell one of you from another? But of course, you could even say we're quite close. After all, I granted him his greatest wish. And in return, he promised me a small piece of his sad, mortal life. Only now it seems he's trying to weasel out of the deal. It's a bit insulting, don't you think? Mortals. I should have known better than to trust him. He swore to leave Avalon for 3 years, 3 months, and 3 days to serve me in my domain. Exactly! I can't understand why he's making such a fuss. Time here flies by so quickly. Unlike in the court, where a year can feel like a century. Oh, maybe he's not as foolish as I thought. Knowledge, of course. A lofty dream of saving Avalon by filling it with monstrous beings. On the one hand, it sounds delightful. On the other, it's a bit of a waste. You see, in my realm, mortals can live as long as we wish them to. A few adjustments here and there, and they can serve us indefinitely. Yet you mortals always believe that death is your escape. Even though we tell you time and again that a deal once made cannot be unmade. Phaedros thought it could work on Avalon too. He was only half right, which is why his results turned out rather beastly. Well, you take a creature that shouldn't be alive, yet is, and you combine it with the human spark that has such a relentless drive for survival. The results are quite curious. Part beast, part human. Overall nothing that should ever grace this realm. Or any other, really. But he kept trying, that fool, and kept returning here, ranting that I tricked him and trying to break the deal. I gave him the knowledge he craved. Nothing more, nothing less. How he used it? That's not my responsibility, is it? They were misery given form, driven by instinct and rudimentary intelligence. So, who knows? Maybe they were just regular mortals after all. Oh, my poor sweet thing. That's just how mortals are. They use, they lie, and they'll do anything to save their own skin. Now, don't fret. I don't blame you for falling for Phaedros' little ruse. In fact, how about we make a deal? How about I give you a little something, and you take it straight to his hidey hole? Then he can bear the consequences for trying to fool us both. What do you say? Well, for starters, you get to leave here with all your limbs just as they are. But I can sweeten the deal. What do you mortals crave? Gold, isn't it? Well, actually, I don't have any of that. How about a lovely trinket? I'll even enchant it to protect that thin, fragile skin of yours. Ugh, honestly, I can almost see your blood pulsing through. Ugh, it's disgusting. Oh, wonderful. Here, take my eye. Bring it straight to Phaedros. And don't worry, I'll know when you're near. He'll be dealt with swiftly, and your reward will be waiting. Now, run along, little mortal. killed him! How could you? He was mine to punish, mine to torment. We had a deal.
I'm sorry, but Phaedros misled you. He belonged to the guild, which means his life and his services weren't his to give away.
What? That can't be true. I never saw any of his supposed masters with him.
That's because he escaped our supervision and has been hiding from us ever since. Any deals he made in that time are void, and the punishment for disobedience is death.
I see. You mortals are crueler than I thought. You. Did you know about this? Reward? What reward? Phaedros is dead. The deal is off. I'm done dealing with mortals. With any luck, you'll all be dead in a century or so.
So, you're the one Phaedros dragged into his madness. Apologies for the mess. I'm in the middle of cleaning up. I'm Alma, the alchemist. Pleased to meet you. I won't deny, I'd have preferred to meet under much more favorable circumstances. I feel a bit like I've been caught at the scene of a crime, which, in a sense, I have. Although, in my defense, if we're speaking of crimes, this one is twofold. Phaedros's reckless experiments had to be stopped. The guild warned him repeatedly that he was crossing the line. Unfortunately, yes. The rules of our guild are clear. Crossing the established boundaries results in consequences, and those consequences grow more severe with greater transgressions. It's not like he wasn't warned. He knew exactly what he was doing and the risks involved. Believe me, taking measures like this brings me no joy. But we can't keep constant control over everyone. There are certain acts that simply cannot be forgiven. Phaedros was a threat, not just to himself and the guild, but to others as well. I'm sorry it had to come to this. First, I need to finish cleaning up here and prepare Phaedros for a proper burial. I'll also secure the rest of his research and materials to ensure they don't fall into the wrong hands. And then I'll have to write a report. Ugh, I hate paperwork. There are so many better ways to spend my time. And then we'll talk about your next assignment. Now, that's better. Shame our meeting had to be under these circumstances. Believe me, not all alchemists act like Phaedros. You seem all right, though. Charles's calm demeanor confirms that. Tell me, what made you join the guild? A big deal. Very lofty. But be careful, all right? Knowledge and its pursuit can come with a price. At some point, one might take just one step too far and uncover secrets that were never meant to be revealed. But I think you'll manage. So, what do you need? Charles is my Croakmore, though he's far from a typical specimen of his kind. He won't bite your hand off, unless, of course, he senses ill intent. At the moment, he trusts you, which is rather uncommon. I wouldn't call the process taming. It was something different. Let's say it involved a more invasive intervention. I found Charles just after he was born, abandoned by his mother, so I took him in. It was the perfect chance to examine his brain. While working on his exposed skull, I had to disrupt the areas responsible for his sense of belonging and aggression. If this were a question, I would say it's a valid one. To be honest, I don't know the exact answer. I assume it all depends on perspective. If we accept that the brains of living beings are a kind of biological mechanism, then perhaps I managed to redirect the function of that mechanism so that it operates based on different needs and perceives its place in the world differently. Yes, That seems likely. All I understand is that it's a form of ancient magic, supposedly discovered by Merlin, who used it to repel the weirdness. A menhir with burning weird fire can repel the weirdness on a far larger scale than a simple bonfire fueled by ethereal cobweb. Unfortunately, that's everything I know. As an alchemist, these are mysteries far beyond my knowledge or expertise. It's hard to say. While we share a guild, not all of us keep in regular contact. Many members aren't as open about their affiliation as I am. They have their own lives and obligations, some of which might be highly conflicting. Lately, situations like this have been happening far too often. Some alchemists within our ranks are starting to rebel, or they're coming up with utterly ridiculous ideas. I really hope this doesn't become a recurring pattern. To answer your question, unfortunately, yes, it was necessary. The rules of our guild set clear boundaries. Crossing them results in a response from us, one that becomes more severe the greater the transgression. The hierarchical structure of the regular Camelosian guilds isn't something we strictly adhere to in the Alchemist Guild. Each of us has freedom in our research, as long as we don't violate ethical guidelines. That's my role. Let's just say I'm a sort of guardian of alchemical ethics. But more seriously, I was assigned to this task. Apparently, I'm the best at playing nanny to misfits like us. I'm trying to conduct field research, but the last few weeks have been exceptionally frustrating. I lack the necessary specimens, and I'm not exactly equipped to gather them myself. I'm skilled with a lancet, not a sword. I heard you're trustworthy. But first, a warning. The task I have for you is unpleasant and messy. It involves extracting brain matter. But before you even get to that part, you'll need to risk your life to get close enough. I need brain centers from 3 creatures. A Nookalivi, a human infected with the Red Death, and a villager touched by the weirdness. I've heard stories about peasants on farmlands near Kunacht. They were unlucky that the Menhir stopped protecting the place where they lived. I'll reward you for each of the 3 brains, as long as they're intact. A bloody pulp is better suited as a snack for Charles. Each one ties into my field of study and interests. The Nookalivi is the result of the Red Priest's experiments, likely involving the weirdness. As for the afflicted humans, I suspect significant brain alterations occur during contact with the weirdness, as well as in the final stages of the Red Death. The Red Priests have written studies, but I'd like to see for myself. Until next time.
me angrier! Make me angrier! You survived that! Making me angrier! big mistake. I'll make you pay for that. You made a big mistake.
Alright, guys, that's it for tonight. We will do some more tomorrow night. For everyone that's hanging out, which I believe that's just you, Malted. I don't know. I don't know how to get on my viewers here, but... Oh, goodness gracious. Y'all have a good night now. We'll talk to you later. Have a great Saturday morning. Stay safe, and as always,